everybody, and welcome back once again. Here we are on the final week of Inside the Headset, and I'm at my first stop. I'm out at the campus of Rockvale, and I'm with the head coach of the Rockvale Rockets, head coach Brian Guthrie. How you doing today, Coach?
I am doing fantastic.
Well, let's go over the first thing.
Okay.
Guthrie County, Friday night.
Yep.
Tough game, and take us through it a little bit, and just what you were seeing with the headset on. And
they're good. They're a good football team. They're pretty good up front. We had a little trouble with their nose guard. He gave us some problems. Their middle linebacker is very active. He's small, undersized, but he's very active. He flew around. We just didn't make plays when we needed to make plays. We played well on defense, I thought, all night, except for one or two plays. We gave up a punt block for a touchdown to start the thing off, which wasn't very good. So that got us behind the 8 ball right off the bat. But overall,
and that's a big booster to kick it off. When you have a special teams and then they score on it at the same time, whether they block the punt, they recover it, and then they start, and you can stop them and stop the bleeding there from a little bit. But when they block it, they scoop it, they score. It's.
And we ended up blocking one of their punts too, so we weren't able to score on it. But for the most part, I thought our kids. I'm just proud of our kids that nothing gets them down. Doesn't seem like they just they keep fighting and keep battling and they never quit. And they have a we're not going away mentality, and so. I'm real proud of that. We just got to figure out a way to kind of get over this hump that we're on and get over the top of it so we can kind of finish out the season.
Yeah, and saying that about the kids and everything, I mean, that's all really you can ask for is just determination, fight. Don't get out of control as the game. If the game's starting to get out of,
Right.
if things aren't going your way, be good sportsmanlike through the contest, and and just try to do what you can control. I mean, work on yourself. Make sure the guy next to you is lined up right, and make sure and pick each other up and I'm sure that's what it's been here the last couple of weeks or the last couple of games here at Rockvale.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean. They've had a great attitude. I mean, they're disappointed. They're frustrated. I get it. We are too.
Has it forced them to learn, or to try to, really focus on trying to get better? And
it has. I mean,
the intensity level, I guess, is what I'm saying. It turned it up a little bit when Mayhew went out. That look, we got to do something.
Right. It's about facing adversity and how you face it, and we're growing as young men, and that's what we're here to do anyway. So I'm real proud of the way they're handling adversity and the way they're still fighting through it. And we just got to keep balance. All you can do, you can I tell kids all the time, when things are going bad, you got two choices. You can either let it keep going bad, or you can make it better. I mean, when it comes down to it, that's all there is. And so
it's an alternate choice close. I mean, come on.
Our kids keep trying to make it better. So I mean, that's all. We're real proud of that, and our coaches are working hard. And, we just can't seem to flip the switch. So.
Well, and I do want to ask this now that you're thinking about this at this time before we go on to the opponent on Friday night, and you will be on the road over at Ray Hughes Stadium. That's no secret, but. What do you think, as you sit back and you stand at week 10, what do you think is the biggest thing that you've learned that you didn't know you were going to learn about being a head coach? And you started off, you took the position, and now you've gone all the way through it, and you're here on this final week of the regular season, and you look back and you say, man, I didn't, you'll be, 4 or 5 weeks from now, 6 weeks, it'll be close to Christmas, and something will dawn on you. What do you think is the biggest thing you've learned as a person, just being a leader, and trying to lead young men and trying to do your job? And what, if anything, what can Rockvale fans or whatever do better to help you in getting to where you need to go?
The fans have been great. I mean, I can't ask you more of them. I mean, they've hung with us through thick and thin, and the biggest thing is probably I've learned a lot of what not to do.
That's great.
I felt like being kind of an assistant head coach under.
You had this plan, but boy, it changed real quick when you got into the throes of it. You're like, that isn't the way I thought this was going to go.
Well, there's just so much more to it, So I was kind of doing that, and then doing the head coach stuff too, and just trying to do it all. I've gotten better at trying to delegate, and get some guys to do some of those other things.
Good.
But
because they need to grow too.
Yeah.
And hey, grab this. The ball's on the floor. I can't do all this. I don't want to fill out these forms. One day you'll be head coach. You'll be able to say, fill out these forms, follow up, turn this in to TSSAA. We're responsible. We got to turn in our refs or whatever.
I told Coach Argo, I said, hey, we got Powder Puff this week. You're in charge of taking care of Powder Puff. I don't want to do it. So, but, just doing that. But, part of my job is not only just to grow young men, but it's to help grow our coaches too. I mean, those guys want to be head coaches one day. And,
you heard Coach Rankin talk about that, how in his coaching tree, in our interview with him, about how proud he was to make sure that those guys get an opportunity to grow in their seat.
100%. So, I'm always trying to think of ways to help those guys out too. So, just being one of the biggest things is that you just can't ever have an off day as the head coach. I mean, as an assistant, you can have an off day. You can have a bad day, and it kind of goes under the radar. But boy, you have an off day as the head coach, and you kind of feel like
you can't put it down.
You can't put it. Yeah, I mean, everybody notices it, and it reflects to the football team. So you can't ever have an off day. You got to be on point every day, and that's tough sometimes. But you got to just keep battling through it, and that's one big thing I've learned. And you just got to remember it's all about the kids, and it's all about growing them and helping them be successful now and then later in life.
Well, and the minute you think things are woe is me or getting down, then you get something good happen, and it throws you into a different gear, or you're watching something on video and you've been watching, all of a sudden you say, that old boy on that other side of the line on that right, he isn't that good. We can start running it. I think we can run it down his throat. Yeah. I think we found something that we think, and we'll go there. We'll just go there all night. If that's we'll dive. We'll hang our hat on that. See, or whatever. I mean, it's you go up and down, don't you? I mean, it's hard to, but it's important to say, like you say, I'm the one steering the wheel. So I'm the one that calls for the mast to go up. I'm the one that says, bear down, we got a storm coming. So
that's right.
So anyway, thank you for sharing that.
Yep.
Your next opponent, Oakland Patriots. Mm-hmm. They've lost one game this season.
They are not immortal.
Well, and let's talk about. We have yet to talk. What is your relationship with Coach Creasy? When do you first remember hearing about Coach Kevin Creasy or
Kevin Creasy and I went to college together.
Okay.
So
I knew that, but I was just going to let a little of that get out.
I was actually I was a bartender back in college, and he used to frequent our bar. Everyone
That's all right.
So we got to know each other then. Plus, he played for Bobby Sharp, who's my cousin. So I've known him.
And nobody knows that. Not very many people might know that Bobby Sharp is your cousin, which that's an arm of what we was talking about, like Gary Rankin. Yep. He's got an arm, and Coach Creasy comes from that arm.
Yep. And so we've known each other for a long, long time. So Kevin and I get along well.
And talk about as watching him grow, standing on the outside and watching him grow up as a coach and being where he is. What's the one thing you know right now about Kevin Creasy? About just the way he's going to prepare for the game, or
I was going to say, well, I know he likes red velvet donuts. No, he's always, he does a great job. He's a big film study guy, and he's going to have some tendencies on you. So they're going to be well coached. They're going to know. They're going to be well prepared. So every once in a while you got to throw a little wrinkle in there to mess him up a little bit, but. They're sound on defense. They fit where they're supposed to fit, and they've got a lot of speed on defense. And so, we've obviously got our work cut out for us, but
Sure.
but we feel like we can, on any given Friday, anybody can win. So, we feel like if we go out there and play as hard as we can and execute, that we've got a chance to win the ball game.
Well, and talking about it, people say, oh, you say, well, I coach in one of the toughest regions in Tennessee, and we go at it every Friday night and everything. I mean, you look at the other regions, and I'm not beating up, and I'm not going to call out other regions at any point or time, or put down another region or everything, or the level of competition or anything. But would you want it any other way than just going at it like we do? I mean, It's not boring at all. No. I mean, every one of them's a little different. You got to fight for your life because every one of them's important. But it's a lot of fun coaching in this region, and the kids enjoy it, regardless of the battle on Friday night. They're excited about seeing Oakland.
Yeah, they all know each other.
Yeah.
So they all grew up together. They all played together at some point or another, and so it's fun. I mean, because they know that because of the camaraderie and all that. But it is the toughest place to play. And you got to be ready every single week. And then when you schedule, when your non-region schedule is, Smyrna's and Nolensville's and Coffee Counties and those guys, there's really no off weeks. So,
right.
And now they're talking about maybe.
But you did it right. Had you had all your guns, you've been at this point, you would have been battle tested, ready to go, and
you're feeling great. Yeah.
And so the formula was correct as far as who we play in those non-regions. You're not like, well, I'm going to try to find somebody weaker. No, if I can, I'll go ahead and schedule something similar, or if they're not available, or whatever. You've already talked about your staff, but I do want to give it one more chance. You've got, before we get out of here, this is the last show, and the reason why is so that it always ends on a good note for everything. I've got a couple of last things I'd like to say to you and thanks, but let's talk about your staff and going out and there's a lot of people. I mean, you've got a lot of kids, and you've got statisticians and water people and people that load game equipment and a lot of people. And I don't want I did not prepare for you, and I did not ask you to have a list, but I'd just like for you to say something overall about the entire, Rockvale Army it takes to do, whether it's a road game on a Friday night, a home game on a Friday night. Just say something about those people, and it's right down to the people that cook hot dogs, that take the money, that that take the gate, that do everything at this school. And Luke, we give you yours, but come on, let's give it up to the other guys.
The three ladies that have taken care of concession stands have just been unbelievable this year. I mean, they jumped in and they were green as a gourd when they started, and they've just figured it out, and they've worked their tails off. And because we do concessions for varsity games, JV and freshman games, and middle school.
And that revenue is important. It is important.
And so Brandy, Amy, and Rachel and they're all three of those are moms, and they've just done an unbelievable job. And
people don't understand, when the fans come and they got the money and they want something to eat, you've got to get the product out the door. I mean, you've got to get it out there.
And they're here at 7:30 in the morning sometimes to get deliveries from food trucks or whatever. And they're in there cleaning and stocking, and it's just.
And thanks to you all, if y'all have other jobs and your companies are letting you do that, you tell them that we said thank you, because that's important. 100%. Let them off to catch those deliveries, because if there's nobody here, then I mean, you miss that delivery. Oh man, it's a problem.
No, then I have to go out there again.
Well, and then they don't want to come back. I mean, then you got to do a makeup. But anyway, go ahead.
But we had and then the guys that take care of our chain crew, Mike and Brian and Dave and those guys, just I don't ever have to worry about that. It's always taken care of. It's a great place. Our film guys are both good kids. One's been with us for 3 or 4 years. One's a new one.
And I thank you for that. We like film people.
We
like film people.
So Mason, I'll have to replace. He's been with us, but he's a senior, so I'll have to replace him. And that's going to be a big loss for us, because he's helped us a bunch over the years. And then this is probably one of the best managerial staffs that I've been around. I mean, they're all great. but our coaching staff is just, I mean, they're just phenomenal. Just like this week, my daughter plays soccer for Central Magnet, and they made the state tournament, so they're going to be down in Chattanooga, and their first game's on Wednesday, and so I'm going to that and going to miss practice, but I don't worry about what's going to happen Wednesday here because I know it'll be taken care of, and I know those guys will run the show, and they probably won't miss a beat with me not being there. Coach Vlad Spolowski, Coach Pow will take care of the O-line for me, and he does an awesome job, and he's like my right-hand dude with the O-line. And so I'm not worried a bit. I didn't, when we won, my daughter and them won on Saturday, and they said, well, we're going to play on Wednesday. I thought, well, I'll just have to miss practice, but it won't be a big deal because, everything.
You've already planned that.
Everything will run smooth. It'll be taken care of, and not worried about it. Those are just, when your kid gets into the state tournament, it's one of those things that
it's family. We're going.
Yeah.
I mean, we're shutting the shop down and we're on our way. You're not. Hey,
that'll be the only one I miss though.
That's all right.
So, because if they win, they'll play on Thursday night, which we practice on Thursday mornings, and then if they win that one, they don't play again until Saturday. So,
hey, all good. First of all, thank you for the swag, and Anthony Fiorella, we got you a big boy shirt here, but we appreciate Rockvale football. We always love the swag, and thank you and everything.
Absolutely.
And we've got a couple of thank yous. First of all, thank you for letting us come out and broadcast a couple of games during the regular season. It means a lot to us. You give us connectivity. Your staff is great. We're able to park behind. It makes us easy in and out when we got a load, and it's just a pleasure to come out and you get here and you're just like, your people are like, you know where everything is. You get yourself plugged in. You set up your broadcast. Do whatever you got to do, and if you need something, ask us. And we as a staff just can't thank you and Rockvale High School enough for letting us come do it. It means a big deal to us because I normally get here, as you know, at 3:30 and haul it all up by myself. Usually I'm by myself, and then the rest of the crew comes on in as they get off work because we're all volunteer. Except Dean Fox, he does get holiday pay. I do want to let y'all know that.
Well, we want to be hospitable. I mean, we want to be a place where people want to come, and I mean, even to our visiting teams. I mean, you'll go to some places and they're just not very, they're not very hospitable to you. Like they don't greet you when you get there, and
well, and during the regular season, as long as there's bandwidth and everything, there's not very much internet out here, so y'all do let me have a connection, but it's during the regular season. It's a lot of fun to have the competitors' radio as well as your radio in there, and let them have their voice or whatever it is of their opponents and stuff. We're kind of lucky. We've got a radio crew that runs around here in town that tries to cover that, and they do the same thing I do, where I'm not, and sometimes we're on top of each other, but Brian and those guys, they do their job, and we're lucky to have that, for the county, and they try to get around. Also, thanks for being on the Inside the Headset. It means a lot to me. You've got a plan, be here, and we kind of work around, and sometimes, my schedule's kind of kooky, but you fall in, and I appreciate you being on it, and like you said, it's not the easiest sometimes. It's great when you're winning, but when you got to sit in this chair and when things aren't, when the ship's taking on water, it's not as fun. But we do appreciate you, the kids. I know you don't think, but then somebody says, "Hey, I saw you on the inside," whatever, and then you say, "Oh, it does mean something." And but other than that, that's all we have. I just hope overall you enjoyed it.
Oh, 100%. I look forward to every Monday afternoon.
Well, all right. Well, you Rockvale Rocket fans, load up, get all that fuel together and everything else you need, and get on over there to Ray Hughes Stadium for the final game of the regular season between the Rockvale Rockets and the Oakland Patriots. That game is at 7 p.m. over at Ray Hughes.